37,000 people were put on a kill list by an AI system, not suggested, not reviewed, generated, and in some cases, humans approved it in seconds. This isn't theory. This already happened. And it didn't happen in a lab. It happened in a war. Inside Gaza, a system didn't just assist with targeting. It produced targets. Not dozens, not hundreds, tens of thousands. 37,000 people were flagged as suspected militants. And here's the part that should make you stop. Each name on that list was reviewed by a human. Not for hours, not even minutes. About 20 seconds per target. Think about that. In the time it takes to check a notification, a life was being decided. And the review? Not an investigation, not deep analysis. Multiple insiders described it as a rubber stamp. One officer admitted they had zero added value as a human. The AI generated the name, the human approved it. And then, the strike followed. And here's the part most people miss. These weren't battlefield encounters. Many of these targets were hit at home. Houses turned into coordinates. Families turned into collateral. The system wasn't just suggesting possibilities. It was shaping who lived and who didn't. And the pace? Relentless. Targets kept coming. The lists kept refreshing. Strikes kept happening. Almost like the system was setting the rhythm, not the humans. But then, it gets colder, because finding someone wasn't enough. Another system, reportedly called Where's Daddy, tracked targets in real time. Not on the battlefield. At home. It would follow a person's movement, wait, and then trigger an alert the moment they enter their house. That alert created a strike window, not based on opportunity in combat, but in the presence of family. Pause for a second. The timing of death wasn't random, it was calculated. Wait until they're home, then strike. No warning, no delay, just a notification and then impact. And just when you think this is the peak, it scales. Because another system, Gospel, Habsora, wasn't focused on people. It focused on targets as infrastructure, buildings, locations, entire structures. And it produced them faster than humans ever could. Reports suggest it could generate around 100 targets per day. Now compare that to older warfare. Before this, targeting was slow, manual, limited. Now, it became a pipeline, a continuous stream. Targets didn't run out anymore. They were manufactured. And once that pipeline starts, you don't pause it, you feed it. Which raises a question. If a system can generate targets faster than humans can verify them, who's really in control? And here's where it stops being one country. Because this isn't isolated. The United States has its own system, evolving from Project Maven. Originally built to analyze drone footage, it didn't stay there. It grew into something that suggests and prioritizes targets. And in recent operations, including a major 2026 escalation, reports indicate AI systems helped generate hundreds of targets and organize them by importance, not over weeks, not over days, in real time. Now imagine that scale. Hundreds of targets, ranked, queued, ready. The result? Massive strike volumes, compressed into extremely short time frames. Faster decisions, faster execution, less time to question anything. And here's the shift you need to notice. This isn't about one system. This is a pattern. Different countries, different conflicts, same direction. AI isn't just assisting anymore. It's setting the tempo of war. And this is where it stops being about systems and starts becoming about people. Because when targeting scales up, verification doesn't. Thousands of names, thousands of locations, pushed through faster than any human team can realistically check. And when strikes are happening at that volume, mistakes don't stay small, they multiply. In Gaza, many strikes tied to these systems weren't hitting empty zones or isolated fighters. They were hitting homes, which means families were inside, parents, children, people who were never part of any list. This is what high-volume targeting does. It turns probabilities into consequences, because if even a small percentage of targets are wrong, at that scale, it's not a few mistakes. Its entire neighborhoods are affected. Entire families gone in a single strike. Numbers on a dashboard become real people on the ground. And the faster the system runs, the less time there is to stop it. And then, there's the moment everything breaks. February 2026, a school in Manab, Iran. It was on a target list. And within minutes, it was gone. A missile strike killed over 175 people. most of them children. Let that sit for a second. Kids, in classrooms, not a battlefield. Investigations suggest the site may have been misidentified, possibly through outdated data or automated analysis feeding into the system. And here's the part that should make you uncomfortable. That error didn't stop anywhere in the pipeline. It moved through it. Target list to approval to strike. No pause, no correction, just impact. When AI is wrong, it doesn't miss small things. And this is the core problem no one's really saying out loud. These decisions are happening at machine speed, targets generated in bulk, prioritized instantly, queued for action. But humans? They don't think at that speed. They can't verify hundreds of targets in real time. So what happens? They trust the system. They approve faster. And mistakes, they don't just happen. They happen faster than anyone can catch them. That's the shift. Not just a smarter war, faster war. And once it starts moving like that, who's actually in control anymore? And here's where the human starts to fade out of the picture. In Ukraine, drones aren't always being flown anymore. They're reaching targets on their own. Officials have confirmed that dozens of AI systems are already being used where drones can fly and strike without being actively piloted. Why? Because the battlefield is flooded with jamming. Signals drop, controls fail, so instead of losing the drone, AI takes over. The operator picks a target on screen, just a moment, a click. And after that, the drone keeps going, on its own. Some systems lock onto the image of a target and continue flying toward it even after the connection is gone. No joystick, no second chance. Just a machine finishing what a human started. And this is the shift. The human doesn't guide the strike anymore. They just initiate it. After that, the outcome is already in motion. And this part is where it gets even more unsettling, because the most important moment, the moment of impact, is no longer human. It's called terminal guidance, the final seconds before a strike. That's where AI takes control. Drones are now designed to fly the last stretch completely on their own, especially when electronic warfare cuts off communication. Think about what that means. The closer the weapon gets to its target, the less control a human actually has. In some systems, operators don't even need to stay connected. They can launch from outside interference zones. When the drone flies into the danger, alone, no signal, no updates, no abortion, just onboard vision, deciding the final path. This is the moment where control disappears, not before the strike, but exactly when it matters most. And it's not just happening in one war. The US is already moving in the same direction, developing one-way attack drones designed for a single mission: launch, arrow, fly, arrow, strike. No return, no pilot mid-flight. These systems are being built to operate autonomously after launch, which means once they're in the air, no human is adjusting to the decision. No one is steering. No one stopped it. This is as close as it gets to a machine carrying out a kill, without a human involved in the final act. Not theory, design. And here's what makes this accelerate even faster. The machines are learning. Ukraine alone has opened access to millions of battlefield images collected from combat flights to train AI systems. Every strike, every flight, every target becomes data, which feeds the next system, which makes the next decision faster, more accurate, more scalable. This isn't just automation, it's a feedback loop. War to data to better AI to faster war. And once that loop starts, it doesn't slow down, it speeds up. So here's the part most people get wrong. AI isn't pulling the trigger, it doesn't press a button, it doesn't launch the missile. But it decides something far more important. Who looks suspicious? Who gets flagged? Who ends up on the list? Systems like Lavender didn't just assist, they generated tens of thousands of targets and shaped who was even considered a threat. And once you're on that list, you're already inside the system. Then comes prioritization. Who gets hit first? Who gets delayed? Who becomes urgent? That's the real kill decision. Not the strike itself, but the moment your name appears and rises to the top. And this is where it gets even more uncomfortable. Because technically, humans are still involved. They still approve. But look closer. They're reviewing targets in seconds, dozens at a time, under pressure to keep the pipeline moving. One officer literally said they had zero added value, just approving what the system already decided. That's not decision-making. That's confirmation. The system produces, the human validates. And when you're overwhelmed by volume, you stop questioning, you start trusting. So the idea that a human made the final call, it starts to feel symbolic. There's a reason this happens. It's called automation bias. When a system looks accurate, even around 90%, people begin to rely on it, especially under pressure, especially when decisions need to be fast. You don't double-check everything. You assume the machine is right, and slowly, you stop challenging it. So here's the shift. AI sets the pace. AI shapes the options. AI decides what even gets seen. And if that's true, then even if a human clicks approve, was the decision already made? If AI builds the list, and humans just approve it, then where does responsibility actually sit? Is it still a human decision or something else entirely? I'm curious what you think. Drop your take below, and if this got you thinking, hit like and subscribe because this isn't slowing down.